Hang on. If you're joining me, I'm here. I'm here, guys. I'm here. Let's see. It's Thursday, or Turd Day, I should say. Oh, a lot of beverages happening. Hey, Adrienne. Good morning. We're going to give it just a minute to see if we got people that show up. Hello, Spartan Wife. Good morning. Hey, Tony. My friend, how are you? Highway Freak, it has been a long time. Can you guys hear me okay? Hey, Wims. Hey, TJ. Hey, Taco. How are you? Hi, Jim. We're going to just give it a little bit more time. I'm going to, like the title says, you guys, I'm going to run the gamut. I'm going to talk about what I've been getting for rates, how busy I have been, COVID, some stuff that's happening in the background. John Dolomite, I don't know if that's how you say it, but every time I see a name similar to that, I think of Dolomite, that Eddie Murphy show, which I started watching but have not completed. I just found out, you guys, I got my tablet and jetpack. I don't know if I showed this. You guys, I've made a lot of videos. I just haven't uploaded this jetpack hotspot through Verizon. I get Disney Plus. Yeah. So like when I was on Hensley's Live the other day, and just as I was leaving, I said, now I can go cleanse with my Disney Plus. All right. Reginald. I don't want to ask if that's true. My eyes are starting to burn with tears. Is that true? I'm not trying to call you a liar, Reginald, but that's pretty heavy stuff. If your wife really did just die of congestive heart failure. Oops. Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh. All right, you guys, let's take a second here just to acknowledge what was put in comments. Reginald Lee just lost his wife. So my prayers and condolences to you. I'm a pretty hard ass in business, but I'm a softie. So that's right, stand with Reg. Oh my gosh. Anything we can do, you know, of course, sending prayers, vibrational hugs, anything else, Reginald, that we can do? Oh, whew, you guys, that's hit me pretty hard right now. Reginald, what was your wife's name? you know, if for those of you that are just joining, Reginald Lee is watching right now, and he's in comments, and his wife has just passed away from congestive heart failure. So, oh, Reginald. Well, let's do this video in honor of Reginald's wife, who has passed away, and let's make it a good one. Let's make it a good. I'm gonna change up the tone just a little bit, but I still want to give you some information. Oh, Reginald, this whole video I'll be thinking about you and your wife. So I appreciate your viewership and your support, you and your wife. I thank you for that. Well, I hope it was helpful. Some of the two videos were a little brutal, but I just needed each of the spouses to understand the other perspective. So it's not easy. I had a load that went through Minnesota a couple days ago, and I was going to take the weekend just to be on home time, right? And by the time I dropped the trailer off, got back home, I was literally sitting in the chair for 10 minutes, and a load came through because they had not caught up with me going on home time, so they still had me ready for a load. And it was a pretty good paying load, so I called Chris and said, hey, do you want to go to Pennsylvania for the weekend? And we made it happen. So he hopped on the truck with me early Saturday morning. We left and delivered the load, and then, what was it, Monday he flew out of Lehigh International Airport in PA. So, but I want to go through what I've been seeing for loads as of late. So this week I ran 5 loads, a mixture of a long haul with short hauls, but I kind of want to break it down, the mileage and what I was making, because the last time I did a rates video, you know, my business was pretty hard hit. I had 2 very horrible weeks, but since then things have been good. So this week, 5 loads. I started out with a load that goes into Minnesota, and there's a theme behind this because I have another load that's going into Minnesota that I'm picking up today, so I'm going to share that with you. But that was 1,415 miles. So 1415 miles, paid $13.74. Ding, ding, ding. Less than $1, right? Yep, came out to be 97 cents a mile. Why would you take that? Because I wanted to go home. So don't forget that 97 cents. The next load was 1,184 miles, paying $2,464. So I made $208 a mile. Then the next one was 201 miles for $477. I have the cents in there if you see it, but I'll just leave it. $477. Worked out to be $2.37 a mile. My next one was 181 miles, paying $534 at $2.95 a mile. Then 337 miles, paying $636 for $1.88. So those were the 5 loads that I ran this week. And this was the payment per mile. Now, the load that I'm on today that I pick up is going to Minnesota. It's 1,147 miles, paying $1,104. And that's inclusive of tolls, fuel. So the line haul on that is actually $845, but I'm using the total estimate, which brings me down again to 96 cents. So my other load going to Minnesota was 97. This one is 96. Do I live in a horrible area? Yeah. I talk about this, you guys. I lose money every time I go home. Not just because I'm home and not working, but getting home, I lose money. Sucks. But all in all, this is very indicative of the last few weeks that I've had. I've run 4 to 5 loads per week. Morning, Ralph. Hi, Rico. So I haven't been sitting like I was, and the loads are starting to pick up with rate per mile. I'm okay. I've had a couple short hauls in there, so I've barely fueled. I mean, it's been good. So we'll see. I've been really reducing my costs and expenses, so we'll see how this week turns out when I'm paid on my settlement. Because revenue to truck, I've been keeping about 50% of the revenue to truck. Before COVID, I was right around 43 to 45%, and now I've been at 50. Much of that has to do with fuel. So, does it work to get to Chicago, then plan a shorter run? Look, I've tried every combination. Typically, if I get to Chicago, then I take a short to Wisconsin, and then I deadhead home. I've tried every which way. I've been doing this for 2.5 years, so maybe I should move to Ohio. Yeah. She was a tough ass too. That was a perfect video. Perfect. Oh, thanks, Reginald. Thank you. Good for her being a tough ass. You need tough ass ladies out here. Or, you know. I think Dirty Broke, he made a video. He did a live video talking about his wife is smarter than him, so you should like marry. Your wife should be smarter than you. And I thought that was hilarious that he acknowledged, like, yeah, I have no problem with that. And Reginald is now saying his wife was a tough ass. So that's good. So all in all, you guys, other than those 2 weeks, those 2 very poor weeks for my business, I've been okay. However, I can tell you that those 2 horrible weeks made me really take a look at my investments, my side hustles. Right after the first of the year, I had talked about I had hired a designer. We had all these great things in the work. And then he just, I don't know, I fired him. I just have a hard time with people that don't have the same work ethic as me, especially if I'm paying you. So I've since hired another girl to do some of that stuff for me. So I put her on a pretty tight timeline, and I'm hoping to get some stuff done when I'm home on a 34 reset this weekend, and then be able to share that with you guys. But if you haven't, you guys, there's no other time to be proud to be frugal. I mean, this is the time. You know, frugality used to be looked upon as, I don't know, people would snub their noses or something of that nature. And now, shoot, I wish I had perfected my skills of frugality prior to COVID, because I would be sitting much better than I am. Now, I will tell you, you guys, that even during COVID, probably including this week, depending on how it goes with how much revenue I keep, but I will have put around 10.5 in the bank after everything else is paid. I was still able to put almost 11 grand away in savings. Now, not true savings, but my budget, like buying a truck, this, that, my different buckets, if you will. But because I was worried that all of that would come to a halt, given the nature of our economy. But I will tell you that I've learned to live with less. And when I think about it, I'm like, what was I doing spending money like I was? I mean, I thought it was pretty good. And then when I really took a look at it, I was like, God, I spend money foolishly. I just do. So, getting better with that. So I mentioned how Chris flew home, right? And I was sort of interested to see what that was going to look like on an airplane, because I haven't flown during COVID, nor do I know anyone else that has, but he did. So, like I said, he flew out of Lehigh International back to Minneapolis, and he was required to wear the mask the whole time. If he had plenty, but if you didn't have one, they gave it out to you. The only time he could remove the mask was if he were eating or drinking, which, I don't know, I kind of have like weird feelings about that. Like, what's the point of wearing the mask anyway if you're going to end up taking it off for a period of time when you're eating and drinking? Who's with me here? Like, right? That's like saying, surgeons, you have to wash your hands, scrub down all the time, except for on Fridays, we're going to do casual, no scrub. Well, what's the point? I mean, that was a big extreme. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't get that. Like, you don't have to wear it when, you're eating and drinking. You have to be tough. If you look at Minnesota, everybody I know from up there is tough. Well, I think it's the cold that runs through our veins. Also, let me just say this, because I get a lot of emails that talk about either my personality or how I present myself. If this means anything to you, you guys, I'm an Aquarius. So, in the astrological world, we're sort of like weirdos, right? And I own that, because we sort of, we sort of do what we want, when we want. That's just who we are, and I believe in my sign. It's very true. And I've said this before, I'm also an ENTJ, if you're into the whole Myers-Briggs thing. Those two things really speak to who I am and my character. So, yeah, that's what I'll say about that. You guys, I've had some pretty exciting things going on in the background that I can't talk about yet. And even if it doesn't so if it comes to fruition, I don't know how much I can say. If it doesn't come to fruition, then I will tell you about it. So we'll see. I also was interviewed by Drive My Way regarding leasing. So there should be an article coming out sometime. And I did a podcast with Lockout Men, and that is supposed to be posting soon too, from my understanding. He gave me an update. That guy is busy. Lockout Men, if you don't watch him, he does a lot of interviews with truck drivers from other companies. He also does where he calls companies and asks questions, like to their recruiting department. So it's pretty interesting. You can learn quite a bit. Okay, I got a question for you guys. I got to see the live chat. Who belongs to NASDAQ here? Hey, Winzard. Yes, the age of Aquarius, that's supposed to be coming up again. Thor, I was just talking to actually a Verizon rep the other day. I called in because I was having problems. And she happened to be working from home, so I said, do you normally work from home, or are you normally in a call center? She said, normally in a call center. She's like, I've been home since, what did she say, the second weekend of March or something like that, and it's been very difficult for her. Like, she's really taking it seriously, like only leave for essentials. And I said, it's very surreal out here for a truck driver. I don't know if anybody else is feeling this, but my job, picking up loads, delivering loads, dealing with the paperwork, is all in all pretty much unchanged. Now, are there a few more things? Have some processes changed for some different customers? Yeah, like, do you get a temperature? Yeah. Wearing masks? Yeah. But all in all, like, I feel sort of unscathed, if that makes sense. Like, when people talk about, like, empty shelves, I don't see it. I'm not in the stores like that. It's weird to go by big malls and big business buildings and there's no vehicles there. That's a little surreal, a little strange. But what are you guys like? What are you guys feeling out there? Do you feel the same way? Like, it's happening around you, but not to you? Like, Chris is an essential worker, so he's auto body, so he's still doing his thing. I don't know. I don't know. It's very strange. I can't. Thank you, Victor. I just got out of the shower, actually, so. Not COVID. Do you feel like you guys say that every time you, like, cough or sniffle or something? You're like, it's not COVID. Speaking of COVID, though, Spectre is being tested. Coach, Kevin of Kevin and Allie, because Kevin's wife has it. And those guys are all, and then Jake Canal has it. So those guys are all Spartan Direct, all the same company, you guys. Like, and Spartan's wife is in here, if she's still in here. So, like, I hope they're okay, because that's no joke. But so Chris, I wanted to finish up with Chris. So on the airplane, he was the only one in his row. Like, they are really spreading people out. But again, you can take your mask off to eat and drink. I digress. And then, let's see, he got in at like midnight Monday night, and the next day he wasn't feeling well. He doesn't know if it has to do with the air in the planes, because normally he's affected by some of that. But there's no testing. He's not going to get tested up there. Yeah, TJ, allergies are running rampant. He normally doesn't have a problem with allergies. I don't either. But if you do, and you're looking at somebody because they're coughing, sniffling, you're just like, you know what I mean? It's just very strange. I always say that, like, when I'm in the truck stop, do you feel like you're in a Pac-Man game? Like, when you think about, like, the Pac-Man with the dots, right? Do you feel like you're going down a road and then all of a sudden you meet somebody else coming down the road and you're like, oh, I gotta go this way, and then, oh, I gotta go this way? It's very Pac-Man-ish. So. Ooh. TJ, I feel for you. That can't be good. That can't be good. So, yeah, so I feel like the traffic is lighter, except for when I was in, I posted a video on my Facebook, I think, where, I forget where I think I was in Philadelphia, and I mean, it was like, I thought they had opened up the state again, because the traffic was unbelievable. I was on 70 West. 76. And you guys, I was kind of angry. I was kind of angry over the traffic. Because, no, I don't think they open back up, but when the states open back up, the people that have been in their households are just going to go driving because they can, to go anywhere, because they're going stir crazy in the house. We're going to have to readjust, like, seriously, to having traffic on the road and having backups. I saw somebody post about they were planning on being like 2 hours early for their delivery, and then they posted a picture of all of the traffic they were dealing with, and now they're going to be late. Like, that sucks. So literally, we're going to have to learn how to drive again with all of that. Your Pac-Man ghost. Nice. Nice. Hello, I am Groot. How are you? Have you guys been sick at all, or have you... Ralph, are you still in the hospital? I'm not sure if you're still in here. Ralph had COVID. Or do you guys have anybody else that you know? I haven't... I mean, like, within my immediate family, nobody's had COVID. Within my immediate, like, friendship circle, nobody has had COVID, so... Oh, I enjoy the lack of traffic too. Hey, Trucker Style Sean, how are you? Hey, we're still going to do our thing. I was just trying to think about the timing given the whole COVID business. But I am looking at it's a 2017 Freightliner. So, it's like 39, which I thought was a good price, but I don't know. I haven't looked into getting the oil tested yet and doing the maintenance reports and all that on it yet. But just from the mere basics, I thought, oh. So I'm going back through some of the comments. Yeah, the masks are not effective against viruses. It's just I don't know what I mean, I haven't been really good at wearing masks, you guys, unless it's required. So, like, I'm in PA right now, and it's got it posted everywhere that to come into this building you need to wear a mask. So I didn't have one, right, and I was already in the building, so TA was selling these for $3.99 a piece. Yeah. I'm abiding by it. I don't know. I just... Now, if you are a mask wearer, forgive my next statement, but I just gotta put it out there. If I'm out there walking Jake in a field, I'm not wearing a mask. What for? Why would I wear a mask in the open air? Please, if you are a mask wearer, teach me something. Tell me something. Why? Why would I do that? Because I'm not. And I don't think I will. But I'm giving you the opportunity. Just saying. California is 80% open. Okay, so a friend of mine tried to call, lives in California, so tried to call their finance company for their car to get deferments. And the finance company said that the deferment is only for those that were not working. What? Only for those that were not working. So if you make less because of COVID, you don't qualify. If you've had to have adult dependents, that don't matter. It doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense. can you just say no, Dallas? Are you talking about like wearing masks? I don't know that you can just say no. They can refuse service. It's like, at some point, apparently you could walk into a store with no shirt, no shoes, no shirt, no shoes, no service, right? No shirt, no shoes. And then at some point, somebody said, hey, you got to have a shirt on, you got to wear shoes. So that's why all those things still show up on the doors. No shoes, no shirt, no service. Now it's no mask, no service. They can refuse service. Ain't nobody got time for that. In the UK at the weekend, they were saying in the press, mouthwash was going to help break the lipids upon the outside of the COVID-19 cells. Russian mouth was now not just... So you're saying that they have, like, thrush or rush? What's that disease in the mouth? Are you saying that's what they're... Is that what you're talking about, Darty? Big thing is touching cash registers, etc. That's mostly how it's spread. Most people don't get sneezed on, I guess. So your COVID test, Groot, was that the whole touch your brain with the long Q-tip type thing, the nasal? See, Jersey Mike, that's what I thought. It was supposed to be for everybody. But this, so the person that is dealing with that was in comments. I don't know if they still are, but the firm is supposed to be for everybody. Yeah. Hey, Brandon, how are you? Tommy, you're in Vegas tonight, 20 years OTR, just found out you have prostate cancer. Whoa. You know what, you guys, I am going to stop complaining about anything I'm dealing with right now. We have Reginald, who has just lost his wife, and Tommy, who has just been diagnosed with prostate cancer. Now, if I were to put on my positive self, and you may want to tell me to shut up right now, because how could I do this? But prostate cancer can be treated, right? So it doesn't mean a death sentence, right? Where the medical community has made great strides towards cancer. Now, didn't save my dad's life 6 years ago, but today there's technology, right? So you will pull through this. Everybody's sending a prayer out for Tommy. $4,000 fine for not wearing a mask? And it doesn't matter what your mask is. You could wear a sock on you just got to have a face covering. I don't know. If you walk in a store no shirt, I bet you it gets come on now. Do I reverse leaning out the window? You know what? I really believe in the things attached to my doors called mirrors. And I use them. So my doors stay shut. I look out the mirrors. But there are times, depending on the angle of the truck, that I may like put my head out and look back versus using my mirror. I do that with looking back with my own eyes. It's for depth perception. So I can figure out like how close I am to that mirror of the other truck or that bumper of the other truck. Until I actually clear it and can see the gap, like the daylight gap in my mirror, I'll watch. What? Dallas, why no to 2017 Freightliner? Why? So, Tommy, you are retired OTR? And do you live in Vegas, or are you just kind of out there? Is there such thing as a vacation right now in Vegas? Do I watch the Rankings World channel? They're also a married trucking couple. I want to know, can you pass my number, the Ranking World channel? And I want to give you my number so I can tell you you need to finish that. Rankings World channel. I don't watch them. So I can tell you the story. Yeah, for sure, Reginald. Email me your number at truckernaenae@gmail.com. And Nene is just like it's spelled on my channel, Nae. Groot says, yeah, I don't know about the deferred payments. Some places, no payments until November. So what do they know that we don't? Right? Well, I haven't deferred anything yet. So Darty, that's interesting. I don't normally use, like, daily use mouthwash, but I don't know. Thor says, yes, you have to wear something on your face. Groot says, this is because he had the COVID test. He says, yeah, they touched my brain with that Q-tip thing. I still feel weird about that. The blood test will tell you if you've ever had it, but I didn't do that. Test came back in 2 days. Did you have to pay for that? I know they said that, like, if you have insurance, they were going to cover that. But if they pay for that, why didn't you do the blood test? If you can share. Any insight on this hazard pay? I'm just in the dark as you. I don't think it'll ever come to fruition. I'm so... I'm still trying to fight for the TST 150. And I know that's not a solution for every driver. I know there is drivers that had to park because their industry went down. I get it. I know there were drivers that, got sick and had to go home. But I hope that they were entitled to unemployment. Now, unemployment is nowhere near what you make on the road. I get it. But it's a little something. But I will also say, for those of us that were out on the road, you guys, 1 week, I did 4 loads and made $300. Don't tell me I wasn't affected. Don't tell me that I don't deserve TST 150 pay. It cost me more to run my truck so I could deliver goods to help my fellow American neighbors than I made. Now, mine only lasted 2 weeks, and then I have been bouncing back since. But if it had kept up, I don't know that I would be sitting in a truck right now. I don't know. I said I was going to see it through, but I really, I really don't know what I would have done if it had continued on that path. I understand why people went home. I understand why people are resisting to run their truck based on the rates. I get it. That was their decision. I made a different decision. I don't know. So I don't think any of I got the SBA denial letter. I got that too. So everybody's talking about everyone that's applied for it has been denied. And then I was in somebody's live and they said they went to their local bank, they did some additional filings, and then they got it. But I can't remember who that YouTube viewer was. But I want to say it was Inspector's Live last night. I might be wrong about that. I've seen it recently. Hey, Robbie. Tommy says, yes, I'm treating it with full force. Nothing you could say would upset me, Nene. I've had a big crush on you for years. Well, Tommy, I appreciate that, and I wish you the best. Thor, you're right. It is too bad how afraid people are. Now, I do think that there's good reason for vulnerable people with, the comorbidities to be a little more worried. But I don't know. It's too bad. Mississippi Hauler. Nancy, are you planning to buy a new truck or used? Could be some good deals in the near future on both. I don't want a new truck. Now, this may sound very strange, but I have never wanted a new house, a new car, a new truck. Like, I just don't. I like, you guys, like, I posted on Instagram, there is a 79 MGB convertible, which, other than the color being more reddish than burgundy, was like the one that my parents had when I was growing up. Except for my mom, she went and bought it from the dealership and didn't know how to drive stick. So I remember crying the whole way home because it was like this. And she ended up taking the transmission out of it. And then before I turned 16, my father sold it to the local doctor, and he restored it. And it sat for years in storage. And then I saw that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want that 79. And everybody's like, why would you want a 79? It's so old. No, I want the 79. I also want not also, but I would entertain like an early 90s Mazda Miata. Oh, my motorcycle, is an 86 Honda Rebel 450 with black saddlebags. It's black and pink. That's my thing. I don't want new. No. I want nice, maintained things that are older. That's my thing. So I'm looking at used 2017 Freightliners, what I was going to talk to a guy about this weekend in Minnesota, so we'll see. I think there'll be a lot of good trucks too. Like, some people are still delirious, about what they want for their trucks. I will say, would I want one with a hood? Of course, but enough people have talked to me and said, don't spend all of your money, with the wasted fuel because you want a long nose, which is true. That is not what I should be looking at my first year as an owner-op, right? So get a Freightliner. It's better on fuel economy. Totally get that. But just looking at trucks now, and if you compare the same year Pete say a little older Pete with a couple years newer Freightliner, that old classic long nose Pete, you might as well add on another 30-40 grand to the price of it just because of the long nose. It's crazy. So it was my kind of idea to get that, but now I think I've been talked out of it. Dallas, I don't know about that. We have people that ran their lease on, like I have almost 400,000 on my 2019 Freightliner. And then this will go up for sale, and I think it all depends on how it was maintained. Now, would I buy a lease truck from Prime that was maintained? Hell yeah. Because I know, as a lease operator, when you go to return that truck at the end of your lease, I know the amount of money that you have to spend to get it back up to spec for them to sell it. And we also have to maintain, the vehicle according to the maintenance schedules. So Prime trucks are maintained. Are they always driven the best? No. But they are maintained. I will say that. They did the test for free, huh? Brian, I don't know enough. I wasn't in trucking during 9/11. I don't know the history there. But what I can tell you is that no one is just going to give it. The truck drivers have to request this, right? It's no different than farmers getting help. It's no different than, other industries getting help. So why beat up truckers today for something that happened in 2011? You know what I mean? That's like saying, when my grandpa was a truck driver, which he wasn't anything like that, but he wasn't required to wear a seatbelt and never had any accidents and never died and never blah, blah, blah. But today, now, we'll get a citation if we don't wear a seatbelt. Well, don't blame that on me. Don't blame what happened on 9/11 on me, or the lack of pay for drivers, or don't blame that on me. What I said is happening now with TST 150 is really going to set a precedence for things going forward. So why wouldn't you encourage or get behind that to help support truckers, say in another bad national tragic situation where drivers are called upon? Like, that is, I don't understand that mentality. Like, well, they didn't do it back then. Why should you guys get it now? That shouldn't be the case. Up until 5th grade, we didn't have computers. Why should kids have them now? Right? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Hey, Charles. Thank you for the super chat. Yes, Jake is here too. Hey, buddy. He's back in there lounging. $100 since you don't have insurance. They will bill your insurance if you haven't. I haven't been sick in years and I only go to the dentist, so I'd rather pay out of pocket. I get that. But $100? Let me see. Let me let that sit for a second. How do I feel about that? $100. So you're doing it to probably protect your fellow neighbors. I don't know. I think it should be tax deductible at the end of the year. Maybe it is. I don't know. Jersey Mike says, I lost one team to unemployment. They told me they make more money on unemployment than they would ever drive for me, and I still can't find a replacement team for them. I was just saying that to somebody today or yesterday, that some of these people are making more on unemployment per week than they've ever made. Think about that. It's similar to like when people come into training for Prime and they're making $700 a week, and then at some point they're guaranteed $800 a week. That's more than they've ever made. But then I won't tell you, they get into the mentality of they deserve much more than that even in training. But it's much more than they've ever made. I'm all about helping the people, but we may have a problem on our hands and people have to go back to work. They'll find a reason. As a Prime lease op, can your FM make you take below cost loads? Would be allowed to just park it for a week or two. They can't make me take any load. Now, they could certainly talk me into it, saying, hey, if you take this, it's going to help us out. We'll get you a better load, backhaul, and it'll sort of work out. But no, at least my FM. And I have a good relationship with my fleet manager, so would be allowed to just park it for a week or two. Well, that would be just like taking home time, and you can take home time anywhere you want, but you'll also be responsible for those payments. So I do know that they're stressing, like, if you're going to be off for 2 weeks, you need to have money in your e-fund to cover your truck payments, because Prime shouldn't have to float your truck payments, right? And that's That's regardless of if it's COVID or any other time. Or if you're in lack of an e-fund, or for whatever reason you don't have an e-fund, then you make a payment to cover your truck payment. And I agree with that. Like, Prime shouldn't have to, I say, float your truck payment because you go home for 2 weeks and then you want to work your way out of a hole. So I get both sides of it. You know, I used to be of the mindset that when you went in the hole, your fleet manager worked that much harder to get you out of the hole faster, so you got really good things coming off of home time. But I also see it from the other side too, from the business side of it. So, but yeah, you can take home time anywhere. You just got to cover your payment. You have to go through a bank and submit a business plan. Are you talking about for financing a truck? I don't know, Windsor. I don't know what that means. Darty says, we still have furloughed in the UK and the government paid them 80% of their pay, maxing at a cap of $2,400 a month. Wow. Really? Wow. That's impressive. I'm sorry. That is impressive. Even in typical times, unemployment, you do not make 80% of your previous wage at all. That's impressive. So I got the $1,000, what was it, PPP? I'm like screwing up the acronyms now, but whatever the $1,000 per employee, because remember, I'm an employee of my company. So I got the $1,000, but I was turned down on the other thing.